All right, party people, good morning. Today is Sunday, July 16, 2023. We are over here in the middle of this month, guys. This weekend is the middle of the month of July. So we're kind of just chilling, right? I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about, different times of year. I tend to enjoy summer, and then I always know that it always starts getting hot in this area around mid-July, which reminds me, it's one of my friend's birthdays. So yes, it's 7 in the morning. Let me text her happy birthday anyways. Let me see. All right. So, yeah, I didn't want to forget my friend's birthday. My friend always has a birthday during San Diego Pride. And I've noticed that it's always kind of like, it's always kind of hot. Like, it always starts getting hot, right around her birthday. I'm drinking water, guys. I don't know if you guys liked the ride along yesterday with the Uber Eats. I was kind of all over the place. But, I figured I'm in the car, might as well record, right? Like, I realized that once I started recording, I kind of realized that it maybe wasn't the best idea to record because I was not really able to fully focus. Like, it's one thing when I'm just driving to or from the beach. I think that's about as much distraction as I can take. I think it's harder to drive while looking at a map and not really knowing exactly where I'm going, and trying to talk about any other topic other than exactly what I'm doing at that moment, which is driving and looking at the map. So, today, I'm starting to record near like 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I figure, I'm a lot less distracted. So I'll explain kind of what happened, after, nothing bad, but like after my day yesterday, after I was in the parking lot recording before I decided to get home and start grabbing dinner, I I didn't write down a lot of what I did. I basically got home, ate dinner. It wasn't really the healthiest of dinners, really, but it was kind of just a mix of just little things on a plate. Some cabbage salad, a little cup of instant mac and cheese, some organic kielbasa. I think I had an egg as well, because I had boiled an egg earlier in the week, and I was like, let me just eat this before I forget, because it was just in the fridge. And then I don't know what else. I think that's all I had. And then I had one of those 100% fruit kind of frozen ice cream bar things. This is my second time having one of those, and it made me feel weird. The first time it made me feel weird too, So I think I'm not going to eat them anymore. It just kind of made, like, the first time I ate it, I felt like I felt like warm. Like it made me feel a little warm, like flushed kind of. Maybe I had eaten too big of a meal and then had that. I don't know. I think it like does something to my sugar levels, which would make sense because it's like fruit. But I think they're like 125 calories or something. It's kind of high calorie for like a freaking snack. So I kind of, I had it because I don't know why. Honestly, I just did. And I think I've been kind of stress eating a little bit lately. It's a little hard for me to switch up my schedules. I kind of was enjoying what I've been doing multiple months, just kind of like wake up, podcast, go to the beach, kind of work on my online stuff. And then when I had to start thinking about like, all right, I need to make some immediate money, and then the Uber Eats stuff. I mean, Uber Eats isn't like stressful like that, but I think I'm a little bit stressed having this old car. I think having the old car is a little bit like, it could go maybe at any moment. Not really, like it's not having like that many issues, but the brake pads are squeaky and it's leaking power steering fluid. So like there's a huge spot in the driveway because it's been leaking for like months. And you can see like every time you look under the car, there's like a little bit of like new moisture, like it's undried, like new wet moisture under the car every time. And I'm like, ooh, that's not good, because I have my car parked next to it. So a lot of times when I'm recording, I am sitting in my car and I'm like, able to look over at the car next to me, which is the car I've been driving. And it's got, it's got this dark spot in the driveway, but then it has this little bit of like live moisture that's just kind of there. And, I did have to stop yesterday. I think I put steering fluid in before I even left the house. Because, I was starting to record and then I realized, the car was making noises. And then by the time I got back down the hill, the car was, making those noises again. So I stopped in O'Reilly's and got that fluid, the power steering fluid, and put like half of the bottle in. I didn't put in that much before I left. There was just like a little bit left in the bottle, but I try not to have like none left so that I can still drive. And I have driven a couple times on the same refilled fluid. I think most of the driving I did during last week, other than Saturday when I put a little bit more fluid in, I think I put fluid in when I came back into town on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember if I drove Monday or Tuesday, but I think maybe it was Monday because I think I went and got Subway. So I think I probably put fluid in on Monday because I hadn't been in town the whole weekend, last weekend. So I think Monday when I got back, I noticed it needs more fluid. But on the amount of fluid that I put in, I drove to and from Long Beach once. And I don't remember which other days I drove around, but I'm pretty sure I drove around a couple other times because I saw 2 apartments this week. So, but the first apartment was like really close by, so I really don't know. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. And then, while I was eating, I was watching a movie I've been getting into these movies on Netflix, but they're like 90 minutes long, so they're like super short. So it's like I just finished it, and then by that time I think it was getting a little late because I think I ate at like 7:30, started eating at like 7:30, and then it was like getting late, so um I think around 8:30 I was working on job applications till about 9:30 p.m. I think I put in like 4 or 5 of them, and then I was like, okay, it's getting late. So around 9:30, that's when I wrote down that I took 2 of the melatonin gummies. That's 3 milligrams worth of melatonin. And then around 10:25 p.m., I still wasn't sleeping really good yet. I wasn't even really tired. By 10 p.m., I started noticing some anxiety. I was like, dang. And I think I do get anxiety when I'm like tired and I just can't fall asleep. And so I was noticing some anxiety. I was a little unhappy about that. And then around 10:25 p.m., I took 2 more melatonin gummies, so that put me up to 6 milligrams. My mind was just racing. Like, I don't know what the heck. Like, it was really weird. Like, I put on an episode of I don't know Michael Seeley. I think it was like about an hour and a half or an hour 20 minutes or something of a video about like anxiety or something. It's one of the newer ones, and I think it was out like 6 days ago or something. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 9 days, like a week or so. It's been out, and so I was like, well, good. It's one I haven't heard, and it's a little long. So I listened to it, and I noticed I wasn't even focusing. Like, I couldn't even focus on the actual episode. Like, I wasn't visually watching it. I pay for YouTube Premium, and so I kind of just had it off, you know what I mean? Like, I had my app off. I meant like I had my screen off, and then, so it could just play in the background, and then it just shuts off when it's done. And so I remember like just my brain kind of tuning back into it every so often, like, oh yeah, I'm still listening to this. And I was like maybe half asleep, but like, I don't really know. Like, it was really a strange experience. Like, I was kind of like half asleep, like, but then at the same time, sometimes I was fully conscious. So I feel like I was dozing in and out of sleep for a while, close to like 11:30, and I think maybe it would have ended around midnight. And I woke up when it was like over, and I just kind of turned it off and went to sleep. So I think I was kind of dozing in and out of sleep from about 10:45 or so. But my lights were out around 9:30 p.m. And then I woke up around like 3 something in the morning. So I called it 3:15 when I woke up this morning. And then 6:10 a.m., like I started watching videos and stuff, and then I was like, it's starting to get light out. Let me just start my day and just go until noon. Like, I'd rather just start my day, get things done. So I planned out what I'm gonna do pretty much till noon. And let's see what actually happens. But I woke up at 6:10 a.m., had the NeuroGum, half of a piece of one, and started studying, what I'm up to for my podcast, what I'm up to for the online store, what I'm up to for Facebook and TikTok ads, what I'm up to for this affiliate marketing project, and then I did some reading and started recording. And, that's basically all the stuff I just mentioned. I'm just going to work on that till noon. It might start raining around 9 a.m., but it doesn't look very cloudy. So I was going to maybe hit the beach before 9, but it's already like 7:15 now. So, or actually it was going to be 10 o'clock when the rain starts. But I'm kind of on a time crunch till noon, and it's going to rain at least till 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Let me see if it's changed. Our weather apps, like, I don't know, like, I'll look at the weather one day and it'll say that the weather's going to be fine. Then I'll look at it like the day before, it says, we're going to have bad weather, and then, it says something completely opposite, and then it'll say we're going to have bad weather, and then it just like disappears and we're not going to have bad weather anymore. So I really don't know what's going to happen, because I've been seeing like some some signs of weather change, like slight weather change, not like permanent, but like yesterday when I was driving back, for example, from being in that parking lot where I was recording after doing the Uber Eats deliveries, I was driving back and I saw that it was really windy out, and I had my windows rolled down at a certain point, listening to some song from Panama, listening to like some kind of radio. I think it was like KPFK, and there was a lady on there talking about something going on in Peru that I don't really know what's going on. It seems like some political situation that's unfortunately happening, and she's like, yeah, this song reminds me of something relevant to like the situation in Peru, even though it's from Panama. And so it was like this Latin song, and I liked it, so I turned it up, and then I was like, roll down the windows, blast a little bit, share this music with the world. But I'm one of those people. I do kind of like to play my music a little loud, like not excessive. Like if you're parked next to me or walk by the car when the windows are open, you'd probably hear it. But if you're like a bit of a distance, you probably wouldn't really hear it that well. It's not like I'd be like rattling like the house windows when I drive by and stuff. And I try to turn it down as I'm like approaching my house so that I'm not like obnoxious to the neighbors. But it wasn't late or anything. It was like still it was like early evening on a Saturday. So, and the neighbors were out. I saw the driveway in their garage door was open, and they were kind of like outside. So I know they're up. So, yeah, so I kind of just was, once I got back yesterday, I was like, okay, like, cool, made a little bit of quick cash. So it turned out that, with all that yesterday, I made somewhere between $27 and $30, total. Yeah, it says $27.60. So for 2 orders, $27.60. So honestly, that's not bad. No, I think that's for 3. Let me see. Sorry. Let me see. I'm looking at it again, because I did have a Friday order. This is 10.15, 10.93, and 15.04. Yeah. That was just one day, pretty much. No, 2 days. So Friday I made $10.04. Saturday, $17.56. So yeah, that's not bad. I mean, 3 orders, $27.60. It was about an hour and a half ish of working. So I mean, that's like it wasn't that hard. I try to do it more when I'm like already out on the road. It's like if I'm already gonna run an errand, let me see if I can pick up like an order or two, versus like just literally leaving the house to do it. But I think if I would have kept going, I would have gotten more orders. I just, with the car doing what it was doing and everything, I was like, let me just call it quits for the day. Because I'd already put fluid in it twice within the hour. So I was like, let me just wait it out. I'm going to wait it out. So I'll see how the car's doing today. The problem is I can't like take the fluid out once it's in. So I'd rather use the car consecutive days so that it's not just like dripping. You know what I mean? Because if I don't use it today, Sunday, and I don't use it tomorrow, Monday, by Tuesday, it might all the fluid might have already dripped out by Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's like it's kind of a waste of fluid. It's like I'd rather waste the fluid driving than waste the fluid not driving, So it's like I don't know, but yeah. So that's pretty much what I had planned for today. I'm gonna be tired, but I kind of also don't care. I'm like, whatever, I can go back to sleep if I end up being able to do that. I really don't feel energetic, but it's because I didn't really sleep that good. This NeuroGum is the only thing that's kind of going to help me push a few hours. And then, yeah, but I'm looking forward to working on these projects today. I'll probably put in a couple job applications tonight. I looked at some of the WorkSource material. I might come in to that office to do the application. I just don't really want to. Like, it's not work that I'm really interested in. Especially because it pays like $15 an hour. And I'm just like, well, Uber Eats almost makes that much money. But then again, there is the expense. There's the gas expense, and then there's going to be the expense of all the steering fluid. And so, I don't really know, but I'd rather get back to my, projects and studying about that kind of stuff because it's kind of what's interesting to me. And I did notice yesterday, I didn't really know what I was going to do. Like, I woke up in the morning and I didn't really have a game plan. And I noticed that kind of set like a weird tone for me because I was like, okay, I could go to the gym or I could work on these job applications. And, I think I did start getting a little bit like down after working on those job applications. Like, that's something I really hate. I hate job applications so much. I've never liked them. It just feels like such a waste of time. It's like you're putting out so much effort and so much of your time. It's like if I think about how much time I wasted yesterday and energy, with these job applications, I spent like an hour and 45 minutes earlier, and then I spent like another hour at night, which is nothing really. I mean, I've had days, not lately, but I've had days in my past history where it's like I've spent multiple days on end, like applying for jobs. And sometimes I feel like that works better, just plowing through. But I also still want to work on my projects. And so it's like every hour I spend, doing that is an hour that I take away from doing other stuff that I'm a lot more passionate about. I don't really like doing things where I don't see results. It's like, Uber Eats is fine because you see the results. You see the results right away. especially if you're getting orders. And that's why I like podcasting. If I'm not doing it, it's like, at least I can get out of the house, go sit somewhere in some shade, do some podcasting. If I get no orders, I get no orders. I was going to sit over there anyways. But if I do get orders, then it's like, okay, now there's some other task to add. And it's kind of more worth the time and energy versus like, not doing that, where you're just like, sitting around, I don't know, like applying for jobs, and then like to not even be getting interviews too often, or to not even be, getting any kind of correspondence. It's like, man, that's annoying. But then I do notice that, it is beneficial to kind of do it faster. Like, as long as the quality can stay good, because you don't want to send out like a crappy application. But, because that's really pointless. To do like a half-assed application is like, that's literally a waste of time. But, to fully follow through. I found some jobs that seemed decent, and I thought I had an interview on the 26th, but I can't find any information about it, about any confirmation, nothing. So I don't really know what happened with that. I saw the email that I was supposed to set the appointment on. And I'm pretty sure I set the appointment because I have a doctor's appointment the next day. So I thought I had set that appointment. I'm not sure why it didn't go through. So I really just don't know. Like, I don't know what to say because I'm not sure why it didn't go through. Like, I don't know. It was a site that had an interview through Calendly, and I'm pretty sure I set it up. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look back through notes and stuff. I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I didn't. And I'm pretty sure I did apply. I'm pretty sure there were two applications that had that, where I put it in the Calendly, but it says there were no interviews available in July. So that kind of makes me think, these people are really, really, interviewing a lot of people if they don't even have any availability. Because when I first applied, it looks like it was around July 4th or 5th. And when I got that Calendly invite to schedule, then I think I scheduled either it was twice on the same one, or there were two different jobs that offered to use Calendly. And I think one was like August 4th or something like that, and one was like July 26th. And I don't remember, it's just so annoying. I'm like, I don't know what time the interview is going to be at. And so, because I remember I was trying to set something up before that one, because I was like, okay, I have a couple weeks before, so let me set up something before. So I feel like I set something up for like 9 a.m. or something. Like, I would have wanted to do it early, before I'm too distracted by other people being up in the house and stuff. So, I don't really know. Like, I think I don't know. I just think, I don't know, like, I'm gonna have to figure that out, because I'm pretty sure I scheduled it, but I thought maybe I'd get a confirmation. Maybe it's in my junk email. I don't really know. I hardly delete things. Like, Like, I do put them in the trash, but I don't really, like, delete my trash, but, like, maybe once a year or something, just in case there's something in there that I need to get back to. But I really don't know, guys. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go back in and figure that out, because maybe I didn't write it down properly. But yeah, I've got that. So there's gonna be this week on the 19th, I'm talking to the job counselor again, and I kind of want to have something to say. So I'm going to have to figure that out if I had actually scheduled an interview, and then talk about the applications I've put in. And I think also on the 19th at 3, there's another workshop, and I want to kind of talk about some other stuff I've been doing, because I have been kind of doing this kind of make money on the side kind of thing. So with the mystery shopper apartments and Uber Eats, so it's like at least I can tell the job out counselor that I've made some money. And things like that kind of keep me a little bit motivated. But yeah, I don't know, like that job fair that they wanted me to go to, it would have been a little much. Part of me regrets not going, because I'm like, because of the what do you call it, like accountability. But also I feel like it just wasn't a good fit of time. Like, they told me about it, and I think it was gonna be like the next day, and I was like, that's not really, like, that's soon. But it's like, I already had like gigs I was working on, and I was like, I'd rather just for sure make money than be confused of, like, wasting money. And it's far, like USC, over near USC is far from me, and I would have had to buy like proper shoes or boots or something. Like, I don't have any shoes. Like, I could probably get away with what I have for like a top and slacks or something, but I don't really have proper shoes. So I would have had to go buy some shoes, which is still something I do need to do. But I can always get like used shoes. I think I have dress shoes somewhere, maybe. I honestly don't really know. I think I have some, but I just hate them. I hate those kind of shoes. I'd rather get boots, but that would be an expense. But I think I have some old Clarks somewhere. They're like dark brown. They're probably all scuffed up and messed up, so they're probably not good condition in all honesty, but I think I have them somewhere. And then so I might just find some days of the week to just power through these applications and put in like way more hours, like 2.5 hours on a Saturday. That's fine, because I did slack a lot of days during the week. Friday, when I was actually going to, do the applications, I was instead talking on the phone to a friend for like a couple hours. So yeah, I haven't really put in a lot of applications. And the way that I make it sound is like I'm applying, and I'm not getting anything. In all honesty, I'm not applying that much. I have a spreadsheet of the places I've applied, and it's been kind of a learning curve about applications. And so, at first I was just applying to like jobs I don't even really want, like pizza delivery and stuff like that. And then after I was getting interviews for that, I was like, I don't even want this job. Like, why am I applying for it? And that was at the time where I was like, let me just raise as much money as possible to take a certain trip I wanted to take. And then I was like, it's not worth me working like a month or two just to take this trip for like less than a week, technically, if you count how long the flights would be. I was like, for me, it's not really worth it. If I make that money, I'd rather just, keep the money, save the money, reinvest the money, and even in some of these projects, I wouldn't want to drop like $3,000, $4,000, probably close to 4,000, honestly, on a week. Even though I really want to go on this trip, it's just not good timing. And it's not in the plan. Like, I didn't plan, when I was leaving my job, when I planned how my summer was going to look, there wasn't a $4,000 expense in the middle of the summer. I'm trying to get as close as possible to moving, and that doesn't mean spending that much money all at once, because that could be first and last month's rent, almost, pretty much. And that could be, San Diego, I'm expecting that I'm going to probably be paying around $2,000 a month for rent. And that's on the low side. And so that's already 2 months rent, or it's a new used car. It's a lot of money that, if I do make that money, I don't want to use it for, like, unfortunately, like, a family trip that's a wedding for a cousin that I've never met. So it's kind of one of these things that's like, I don't know this cousin. We don't talk. We've never met. We've never spoken. I've talked to the mom and the sister, but barely to the sister. I've met the sister like once, and then talked to the mom like a couple times, and she barely started reaching out to me in like December because she wanted me to kind of come to this wedding. And then I thought all kinds of things, but I finally got my passport in June, so it wasn't really even going to be a possibility until June hit. And then I'm like, well, the trip is starting at the end of July, so I'm like, that's not a whole lot of time to work with. And the money that I have that's in my retirement and investments, I don't think, I think I have to have more like self-discipline and not take out money to be using for that. Like, I did take out some money to live off of, but I'm not trying to live off of more than what I already spent up till like March or April. Once I hit that limit, I was like, all the rest of the money I'm living off of, I'm going to have to be making money. Like, I have money in case of an emergency, but that doesn't count taking a trip out of the country. It doesn't count, it doesn't count anything that's not an expense for moving, for transportation, or, because for me, transportation equals work, right? The easier you can get around, just having a car that's a decent enough condition and being able to drive Uber Eats is like, that's about as flexible as it's going to get. And, it's not impossible to make $100 on Uber Eats in a day. It's not impossible, especially if you're driving peak hours. It's not impossible at all. And so, and well, depending what area you live in, but if you live in a city, I don't really think it's impossible unless it's a really small city. But yeah, I'm in LA, like, it's not hard. And even if it was hard in my exact area, there are areas where I could technically drive to that would have a lot of deliveries. Like, it would be an expense in the gas driving to and from, but I could still technically do it. So I just don't want to, it's my money. I don't want to spend my money doing things that aren't in my own plan. And maybe I jumped the gun and told people I was going to make it, and made it seem more, how do you call it? Made it seem more confirmed than what it really was. Because then when I started noticing, like, this might not be a good idea, I was like, I gotta kind of take a step back. So, I don't know. And I just don't want to be dealing with debt like that. I don't want to be dealing with having to like gain back the money that I'm spending. Like, it wouldn't really be like debt necessarily, but I consider it debt because it's money that I'm going to have to replace, which I don't want to do. So it's just a choice I'm making, to not go down that route. And so that's just one of the things I'm kind of dealing with. But, you know, I'm learning a lot about money making. That's something that I think is important. Because, I mean, for years, you know, that's what got me through working a job where I was only making $18 an hour. You know, it's like I was doing other stuff on the side, you know, just so I could like hang out and save and invest and do all that kind of stuff. And my rent was super low because I was living with people. So like that kind of all helped me eventually get to the position where I was at earlier this year, where I could actually take time off to learn new skills, practice new skills. I like that. I like learning and practicing new skills. I've been enjoying myself with all this digital, you know, this whole digital world that I've been involved with, because I've always kind of loved it. I've always loved computers and, you know, content creation. I don't like editing content, but I like creating content, and I like analytics. I like numbers. I like that kind of thing. So I really enjoy that. But yeah, like yeah, the job application process has really been a learning curve. And I did initially spend a lot of time applying to jobs I didn't want. And then I was like, let me take a step back, you know. I don't want these jobs. Like, why am I even bothering applying? And then I started doing these like auto applications. And then I started realizing I don't want to do that either. And then I started spending a lot of time on YouTube watching these people like, I think his name is Shane Hummus. I don't know. I hate to say it. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Maybe up until recently, a lot of his content has been really clickbaity. It's like, make $150 in a day, or make like $323 per week or whatever. And then like you look at what it is, and it's like none of it's guaranteed. The stuff that I talk about when I review it and talk about it, like the stuff I've talked about, like EPMS and like Uber Eats, it's like literally you could make that money, you know. It just depends, you know, really the area that you live. Like with the mystery shopping gigs, if I was willing to drive all over LA, like 16 miles, 20 miles away, like drive out to Orange County, I could make plenty of money doing that, but it's like, it's more of an expense. And because I know what this car situation is kind of up to, I'm kind of like a little hesitant to, like, unless I could book multiple gigs per day, like book viewing, you know, like 3 in a day, and if each of them pays $40, I haven't seen any lately that pay like less than $40 really. There might be some, but at the minimum they pay $40. But that, I guess, if you don't put the report right or don't submit accurate information, they could technically pay you less, but they pay $40 usually. And so I think the least I've ever been paid was $5, and that was just for making the calls and documenting that I couldn't get in touch with anybody. But almost all of them, there's been correspondence, so they've been extending, you know, for me. And I found another one, so I'm gonna do my 4th one. I don't know when. I gotta schedule it. I gotta make some calls, I guess, today see if I can get in touch with any of the agents, and then start scheduling. Because I think Monday is the day that I'm going to try to go do 2 in the same area. And so if I can schedule to do 2 of them Monday morning, that would be pretty cool. And then, it's $80 right there. It's like, that's not chump change. Like, it's like, just for looking at apartments, like, it's not that hard, and especially if they're not that far away, it's not that hard. But I think Long Beach is about as far as I'm willing to drive. Right now, I say that, but I might be able to get enticed to drive to, like, Costa Mesa or something, but that's far. Like, it's far for me. It's like 50-something minutes without traffic, really. It's pretty far one way. Well, I'd say 45 minutes with 0 traffic, like 55 minutes with, like, normal traffic, and then in rush hour, it's over an hour. Probably hour 20, hour 30 minutes. Shout out to LA traffic. But it just does make it so it's like, that's why I don't want to work outside of the house necessarily, because the more wear I put on this car, the more likely I'm soon going to have to really dish out to get it fixed, because I am the only one driving it. But, yeah, it's taking a lot of fluid lately, which isn't good at all. But, yeah, it's pretty much what I'm going to do. Work on my websites and stuff until noon, and then, reassess. I'm probably going to take a break around 8 a.m. just to make some breakfast and eat it. And then probably around 1 p.m. I'll probably have lunch. Then it might be nap time. But, I've been up since like 3 in the morning. But I decided around 6 to let's just get up and be productive. It's like, it makes no sense to me to, like, stay in bed all day. Because the thing is, I'm not going to be sleeping, and I do have some stuff I want to do. Sorry, my stomach is grumbling a lot. But yeah, I do have some stuff I want to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how much money I make online. I'm not making like 0 money. It's not predictable, and applying for these jobs is taking time and energy away from, participating in these projects. So, I think I really am going to have to find some time to just power through these applications. Last night I was watching some videos, by people who took the same classes and got hired. And so I do find that helpful, because it's a little bit more motivating to be like, okay, they did it, so I can do it. But yeah, and yeah, I'm kind of, like, really what I'm doing online, it's really a learning process. Like, I'm learning as I go. I have, like, class content to try to help me. One of the instructors has a really strong online presence to help, but I also don't want to get too I don't know, like, I don't want to spend too much time doing things that aren't yielding results. So it's kind of hard to know when to step back from something and when to jump into something. That's still something I'm learning. When to step back and just wait to see if there's engagement with content, when to step it up and record more, or a lot of the things I record about I have to like study or try to do before I can actually record. Like if I'm talking about Uber Eats, or if I'm talking about EPMS, or if I'm talking about any kind of thing I'm doing that's like making money, it's like I have to actually make the money first, and then be like, all right, this is how much it makes. And then, yeah. So I guess we'll see. I'm gonna check the weather once more. So it looks like, yeah, if it does start raining, it's gonna rain all the way at least until 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I might need to get out today. And then, yeah, so, all right, I've been recording forever. I'm gonna get off of here. And do what I need to do next. With that, thanks for listening.